Again, the chat is closed. Just heads up.
How's Stone doing?
Nice.
He's doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gonna say hi later?
Hi,
When we're done?
Now.
Hi, Liam.
Hi, Leo.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Jackson, let's read part C.
Find the positive value of x at which the curve has a vertical tangent line. Show the work that leads to your answer.
Okay, so we know we have to look at the vertical tangent. So it looks like because of the tangent, we're going to start with step 1, we need to find the derivative. So I'm just going to write f prime. And then we'll find the x value at the very end. So the first thing we're going to do is derive. So I'm going to write derivative of, with respect to x, of the given function. Make sure you're writing everything out. So when you're looking over it, you know what you're looking at. So what is the derivative of 3x squared? 6x. How about 5y squared? 10y, and then dy over dx. That's a y, by the way. And then, do I see product rule right here? Yep. So the first rule is, I think I'm going to go ahead and write the negative 2x together and the y separately on the top. That's just my side note. So the product rule states, derive the first one, which is negative 2. You keep the second one. And then I keep the first one, which happens to be negative 2x. Can y'all tell that's a y? It's very truncated y. What's up?
Could you read the paper just a little bit?
A little bit? How's that?
Perfect.
Perfect. And then dy over dx, because the derivative of y is just 1. You can write out 1 if you want. And we know derivative of any constant is simply 0. So my goal is to get dy over dx by itself. So what I want to do is I want to factor out all the dy over dx. Hopefully I have enough room. So I'm going to do one go on the next piece. I know I have to move the 6x on the other side by subtracting. And then I also know we need to add 2y. And then whatever's on the constant or coefficient in front must be divided. Can I simplify this? They're all divisible by what number?
2.
By 2. All right. So let's see what is happening at this point. So listen carefully. If I am looking at a vertical tangent, we know vertical tangent has basically undefined slope, right? When something is undefined, is my top number 0 or bottom number 0? The bottom number. So I need to let this one equal 0. So I'm going to go off to the side right up here. 5y minus x is equal to 0. So if we're looking for x, are we going to solve for y or solve for x? Solve for y, because when you solve for y, it's in terms of x. Then we can go ahead and maybe factor out and so on. So let's see. We have, for the y value, I'm going to say x over 5. Is everyone okay with that one go? All right. So now that I have this, what I can do is plug it to the original function. So my original function that I might not have enough room. I'm going to struggle here. Let's see if I can fit this. I have 3x squared plus 5. And then I have x over, oh God, no room. Minus 2, x times x over 5. That was almost, is equal to 25. Okay, let me go ahead and move this one up. So bear with me. Okay, I'm going to do one go on here. Everybody listen. Would you agree 5 over 5 is 1? So if I combine like terms, 3x squared plus 1x squared is how many? 4x squared. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply the negative 2x. Minus 2 fifth x squared is equal to 25. Can I further combine like terms? X squared, x squared. That's going to give me the 4 and 2 fifths, or 3 fifths? 3 fifths. I'm going to go ahead and convert that to mixed fraction. Because when you're multiplying and dividing, having a mixed fraction is easier. You have to convert anyways. And at this point, we are going to multiply by the reciprocal. 5 over 18. And again, notice this is non-calc. So we have x squared is equal to, I think 25 times 5 is 125 over 18. And at this point, all I need to do is what on both sides? Square root. And when I square root, we get the following. And I'm going to do my mental math on simplifying the radicals. For 125, 25 is a perfect square. So I'm going to pull that one out. On 18, I see 9 as my perfect square. So I'm going to pull out the 3. And then what do y'all remember back in geometry or even in pre-cal? What do we do with this guy right here? You got to multiply by the little radical on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and write the final answer. X equals 5 radical 10 over. Now keep in mind this radical 2 pops out as 2, right? So 3 times 2 is 6. And then you have to ask yourself, are the whole numbers already simplified? Yes, it is. And then it says to find the positive value. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, can this be plus or minus? That is true.
Why is it 6?
It is 6 on here because radical 2 and radical 2 pops out, times 3 is 6.
Oh.
So the answer was?
Yeah, because it says find the positive value of the x. Yes?
How do you get the 4x squared? Like at the very beginning.
5 over 5 is 1. 3x squared plus 1x squared is 4x squared.
Oh,
Yeah, my work is kind of messy, although I'm pretty happy with this. All right, are we ready for the last one? If any, in my opinion, the last one is a harder one because it's not over dx. We're looking at dt. All right.
Boy.
All right, Rosie, let's read number or part D.
Miss Rockwell,
What's up?
do we make the FRQ 25% of the exam?
No.
75?
Oh, no. Trust me, you're going to like this better since you have the review ready. All right. Rosie, let's read.
Oh,
times t that
yeah.
are divided by the equation 3 squared plus 5y squared minus 2xy equals 25. At time t equals 5, value of x is -3, value of y is 3, value of dy over dt is 7, find value of dx over dt at time t equals 5.
Okay. So notice our denominators. Do you see they're all dt's? Okay. So we are going to derive, let's go ahead and, with respect to t. What this means for this problem is, they're all x and y, not t's. We have to go ahead and put d something over dt every single time. So I'm going to write out the function given. And isn't it pretty much the same function as the previous one? So when you're deriving this, if it's somewhat similar behavior, you're doing the right thing. But we're deriving again because we're now looking at a respect of t. 2t, I mean. So we know 3x squared is 6x, but we have to add what? dx over dt. Is that letter over what we are looking at a respect from? The class loud. 5y squared is 10y. 10y. And again, we have to add dy over dt. And again, we have our product rule. So again, just to kind of make it neat, I'm going to write it in parentheses. So the product rule says, derive the first one, which is -2. And again, that's dx over dt. Times my second one as it is. And then we keep the first one, which is -2x. And when I derive the y, it's going to give me 1 that I don't want to write out, but dy over dt is equal to, what is the derivative of all constants? 0. So now let's go ahead and put all the dx's and dt's together. So I see my dx's over here. So I'm going to put them together. So when I do, use your parentheses, 6x minus 2y, and write out dx over dt. If you want to do one go and you're comfortable, go for it. But this part, since we have so many parts, I think I'm going to go ahead and take it step by step. 10y minus 2x. And then we have dy over dt is equal to 0. What does it say to solve for? What do I need to have by itself on the left side? Dx over dt. So I'm going to write out dx over dt is equal to. So we know we're going to divide it by the coefficient of the dx over dt. So I'm going to go ahead and write that out. 6x minus 2y. And then we're going to subtract this guy. So when I subtract this, watch what I do. Since I know I have to subtract all of this, I think I want to go ahead and distribute the negative to this one and this one. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, so I have minus 10y plus 2x, and we have dy over dt. And when you're subtracting, your fraction stays the same. You're not multiplying or dividing and changing it to its reciprocal. So at this point, all we have to do is plug everything in. So watch this. Do you see it says x is negative 3? So let's circle them. Here's my x. Here's my x. Is everyone okay with that one? What else can we plug in according to our given? Y is equal to what? 3. So I can plug it in here and plug it in here. There's one more information. They gave us dy over dt. So it looks like all we have to do is plug it in and we're good to go. So we have negative 10. And just because we make silly mistakes, move it up. Yep, always. There you go. Just write out everything. So 2 times negative 3. And then I have 6 times negative 3 plus 2 times the y is. And then times dy over dt is given as 7. And basically the numerator is going to give me what number? 30 how many? Negative 36. How about my denominator? Does anyone see that I did something wrong? That's a minus sign?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a minus sign. So that would be negative 24. And if I multiply that by 7, I'm going to go ahead and further simplify since it's non-calc. 36 and 24 divisible by 12. So I'm going to call this 3 over 2 times 7. Isn't 3 times 7 21 over 2 basically? And we're done. So I feel like the last one is probably a little bit easier than the third one.